the Don River circuit today. We'll go up along the river, then come back past the railway museum. As ever, we begin at a picnic area, and there in the centre is the ubiquitous free barbies. But we'll be heading along this route and across the river and then up the other side and back. Head along the footpath, and there's the footbridge over the River Don. There's our bridge, and you can see in the background the main highway over the river. You can see the river's flowing a little bit at the moment. We had 100 mils over the last couple of days. That's 4 inches in the old money. We'll be walking alongside the river for a little way before we hit the bush. So it begins. Off we go. Don was a separate township from Devonport. Devonport's now expanded so much that Don is sort of a suburb thereof. Well, I don't tell the locals. Starting to get enclosed with forest on the bank, and we'll move into the forest more deeply in about 100 yards. You can see from the hedge across the road, it is still deep in winter. The poplars behind not showing any sign of spring growth. We have to keep our eyes and ears open for bicyclists. Thankfully though, cars, motorcycles and horses are not permitted. And into the forest we go. A paperback stand there. The ones we saw on Pig Island were much bigger, but definitely paperback. As you can see, they love having wet feet. Other folk on the path will turn off as we go by them. Definitely part of the suburbs of Devonport. Those people were very grumpy. We always get smiles everywhere else. And we are in late August. The wattle are in bloom. As you can see, quite bright yellow. Always a harbinger of spring. This path, you can walk all the way out to the beach at the end. We won't be doing that, we'll be doing the loop, because I think that's a nicer walk. And we come back a different route through to the river as we keep moving. And a small tributary leads us to this bridge, which is of course nice and safely railed, and the rest of the tributary flows on down to the Don down there. As I say, we've had some rain, so all this is quite damp and is now flowing down. The mud flats are really quite aromatic. Just starting to head slightly uphill. We'll notice that all this has been paved quite well, so it would be wheelchair safe, at least this far. And you can see the chicken wire on the wooden slats for frosty mornings. A fair bit of moisture on the path up here, so the water flows across down into the Don, seeping across and down into the river. If you've seen the video on the Tasmanian Arboretum, there was a light rail cutting down there that ran all the way up to Don for sending timber up for shipbuilding. If you haven't seen that, I'll leave a link in the at the end of the video back to that one. See all the way over to the other side, there's paperbarks over there as well, quite large ones. Some up to, I don't know, 30-40 metres by the looks of things. Just been passed by a walker with her dog, so let's give them a bit of space and then we'll wander on. This morning, 3 degrees at home, Celsius. Starting to warm up a bit now in the sun. And they are forecasting snow today, down to 700 metres or so. So we're fairly safe here on the coast. And then down to 500 tomorrow and 400 the day after. We're at 350 at home, so we might get some if they come lower. It was quite a surprise after all the rain yesterday and the snow being forecast to wake up to a clear sunny day, which is why we're doing the walk. As I say that, the breeze is just starting to pick up from the southwest. It's a bit of a chill, because basically once you get to the coast, a couple 100 k's away, there's nothing between there and Antarctica. So the breezes can be a bit chilly. Up a little bit here. We're getting to the first turning point before heading back home. You can see quite the extensive mud flats out there. See the little birds around that fallen log out there. They're plovers. They're ground nesting birds. But, they've got their young with them at the moment. I suspect at the right hand end of the log, and they're quite protective. And when I say quite protective, they will swoop on people. Terrifies some people, but I've never been hit by them. It's all bluff as far as I can tell. But people claim to have been struck by them. A little bit of replanting going on next to the huge stump that was probably taken out for safety reasons. Reached the Sawdust Bridge, which is out along here. Up and over the Don. We'll follow that loop back. The sedge and whatnot across the mud flats doesn't stop the aroma. On the other side, less sedge and more aroma. Fast flowing water here. You can see by the size of the logs that get bounced around. And here we go. Onto the bridge. Let's walk. Now, of course, I have a thing about heights. Thankfully, it's not a suspension bridge. It is, though, got lots of viewing spots through the floor. So I am staring straight ahead. Downstream and through the footpath. Well, that got the adrenaline going, I can tell you. But having a camera to look at means I don't have to face the height, which is nice. So we've crossed that bridge. And there's another shot back of the bridge. Just been passed by a runner. We'll give them some time to get ahead of us. Now starting to climb on this side. As you noticed on the sign, you could get to the aquatic centre, but that's up a cliff face almost. So we will just continue along the loop path. There's a bit of a clue as to where we're going to end up down at the Don River Railway Museum, which is down that way. The path, though, wanders off and through the bush before coming back to the train line, which is only in use by the museum. But it is in use by the museum, and you have to keep your eyes out for trains. Getting steep enough to require a handrail, and with a junction at the top. The aquatic centre up there, we're going downhill. This looks like the end of the road for wheelchairs, I suspect. The rest is all scrub and gravel footpaths. But I could have actually walked along the train line and avoided that hill. But hey, it doesn't hurt to hit a hill. The fallen tree, so the path veers off to the left and then drops back down. So definitely not wheelchair friendly. Keep our vigilance about us. Might spot a wallaby in here or two. And of course, always keeping our eye out for snakes and widow-making branches. Definitely for higher fitness levels this side of the track. Lots of fallen trees, trimmed, but still across the path. There's a little bit of climbing going on. It's also very damp underfoot. If this level of fitness is a bit much for you, I suspect you could wander back along the train line, as long as you kept your ear out for trains. And water. Mushroom head, I guess. Shows you how high the soil's been, how much it's eroded. Need to keep your wits about you. I nearly missed this turn off in the undergrowth, but it wouldn't be a problem if you got lost. I suspect you just head uphill and you'll hit civilization, and there's our train line just beside us. A little bit of bird chatter behind us. Don't know if that's being picked up or not. It doesn't take much bush to get the birds going in Tassie. Probably not recommended for wheelchairs or probably even push bikes. I suspect when those southwesterlies hit us, it would be too dangerous to wander through here. Now then, I think it goes this way. and out onto the train line. I'll follow the train line. I haven't done this since I was at boarding school, sneaking into town for a cheeky schooner. That was a surprise. Unexpected excitement there. It's nice to know the heart still works. I don't know how far that's going back behind me, but there's only one track, so it will be coming back this way. I am working on the assumption that they're only running one vehicle at the time. I guess we'll see. Do the thing they do in the westerns, I guess, and put my ear on the track, but I have no idea what it was I was listening for. Okay, so we've stopped for a moment after our being run over by a train experience to have a sip of water and a bit of a think. I suspect we'll be safe to wander down the track, provided we keep our wits about us. And wit keeping is one of those things we pride ourselves on. Off into the blind corner, always fun on a train line. The relaxing sounds of running water. And of course the breeze is picking up as well, so hopefully that didn't get picked up in the mic. And what's this up ahead? Some sort of discarded railway item. Sets of wheels. Without the wheels. I know there's some there, so who knows. If you do, drop an answer in the comments. So I haven't got a clue. Some impressive ironwork though. I guess if they've got stuff stored here, we must be getting closer to the end of the walk. Some more stuff piled up. Stuff being, of course, a technical term for discarded railway materials. Well, that looks like a steam engine over there. Down to the end, see if we can get a shot back at the old steam engine that seemed to be not in good state. About as high as I can reach. Appears to be part of a bridge. All kinds of fun stuff. Just heard a train horn blow a couple of times, so I'm staying off the main track. We appear to have run into the museum. I will go and get help on how to get back onto the track. Fella down there pointed us back onto this roadway, which should get us out and around and back down to the car park. See the detritus and implements of a leftover rail system. Steel sleepers, useful pipes, bits of a rail, more useful things, down to new wheels, or replacement wheels anyway, and quite a pile of rail tracks. And the gravel goes down underneath the sleepers and the tracks to absorb the shock and keep things level. Out of the gates and off to freedom. And here is the path we should have been on, but weren't. So, down to the car. We're out of the bush, you can definitely hear the sounds of civilization. There's a shot of the rail museum from the high side. We'll have a look from the front when we get round there. Line of wattles over there, letting us know, as I say, that it's late winter. The other clue is the cherry blossoms, all the stone fruit bursting in the bud. Quite a collection of locomotives here. You know it's fast if it's a red one. Not sure if you can read the nameplate. It says improved and rebuilt the State Workshops, Tasmanian Railways Launceston, 1928. CCS number 23. It's a proper signal box and all kinds of stuff. Back at the park where it all kicked off. I literally got back in the car and the rain hit. Guess we got away with it this time.